Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. Wow. What an upset. Yo. I wasn't expect was like I saw a possibility of this could happen or this can happen, but I didn't really expect it. I didn't really expect it because wow. I just a shock, guys. Yo, I'm just a shock. If you listen, this year of the year of upsets, how many upsets has there been? It's just been AJ and this one. Has there been another one? Yes, there have. Yes, there has. The Kid Galahad, Terry Harper. Oh my goodness, how many upsets? How many upsets do you want? How many upsets do we need this year? Wow. Well, first and foremost, guys, if you haven't done it already, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you know, everybody here is welcome. Click the subscribe button and follow me across all my social media platforms. Links are in the description box below. Let me know how you thought of today or that fight in particular, because yo, I've got a lot to say, man. I have got a lot to say regardless of that fight. Um, but first and foremost, congratulations to George Kambosos. Yes, I forgot about that one. Josh Roy. Was that an upset? No, because he lost last year. Was it? When did he lose? Hold on. Um, I thought he lost last year. That's where the confusion is. Because if he lost last year, and this year was a no contest, I wouldn't say that was a that was an upset. In my opinion, I didn't never saw that as an upset. Yeah, I think no, he did actually. Yes, you're right. He lost this year, earlier this year. Wow, that again, that was another upset. Bloody hell, yo, how many upsets do we need? How many upsets do we need? Um, First and foremost, congratulations to George Kambosos. George, I wasn't expecting him to win. In fact, I was expecting him to really get battered, to really lose. Um, but wow, I did not expect him to be perform at that very high level. I didn't really. I expected him to just sit there, sit on his punches, hope for the best, and if you get something out of it, hope it is what it is. But this guy, George Kambosos, you get my absolute respect. I thought they were gonna rob George Kambosos. No, you can't rob him. It's difficult to rob that. It's very difficult to rob that. I like Lopez. I really do. But I had him losing a lot of rounds. So even if they went to there weren't really any close rounds. To be fair, this is a very that's what makes it great. Maybe one round was close, but everything else was really black and white. This fight that he won this round, he won that round. So it wasn't for me. This is how I saw it going into the fight. Was Lopez, what was the cutting down to 135 a problem for him? Yes, but if he's always been having that problem, why is he still fighting at that weight class? Better yet, if you can't fight at 135, then don't fight at 135. I me Even if I was to cut down to the bare bones, yeah, I can't get down to 135 as much as even if I even try. Even if I was like, if you robbed me from food, you gave me like 1 meal a day, I still can't get down to 135. That's how, like, so if I can't get down to 135, I'm not going to then suffer and struggle just to hope for the best and try to get down to that weight. No, no, like, if you're not comfortable there, move up. Going into the first round. George, he started, no, Teofimo Lopez started off like his head was gone. He wasn't composed. He didn't come in as I'm champion. I'm just here for another formality. I'm here for another day. And this is the thing when you're a champion, you've got to um you've got to carry yourself in a different way. You can't just be as like reckless as you was to prior to you becoming champion. You know the way there. So for me, first round, uh, Lopez less. If he was more composed, he could have just cruised through the first round and won the first round. But he wasn't. He lost the first round. I had it 9-8 to be fair. The first round, they had it 10-8. Because I didn't think Kambosos. I think if it wasn't for that knockdown, I think Lopez would have won that fight. Like if you just remove that lockdown, Lopez won that round. So I can't turn around and say, yeah, it was 10-8 round. You can't really say that. It was a clear domination in the first round from Teofimo Lopez, but you can't start off like that. And you know what? If you start off weak, it's a building block to how the fight goes. If you start off like that, you're done for at this level. Second round, 2, 3, he was sort of getting better, but he wasn't denting Kambosos early to the body. And this is what happened. Is if you don't dent him early to the body, later on in the fight where you want to take him out, it's going to be a little bit harder to take him out because he has a little bit more wind in his airways, a little bit more, vim and power to go through the next couple of rounds. And that's how I saw it. Round 4, round 5, round 6, Kambosos was dominating. No, he wasn't dominating, he was controlling the fight. And when he was controlling the fight, everything that was going on, he was he was in the driver's seat. He made Teofimo come to him. He made Teofimo come into the ranges and the areas that he wanted to for him to appear in. I can't I can't turn around and say, oh wow, like he was running away. He weren't running away. He was controlling the fight. He was a puppet master controlling the fight. The fight was in his hands. I had it prior to this. My prediction was a 10th round KO by Lopez. So round 9, coming up to round 8, Lopez just gradually getting a little bit better, jabbing a bit better. His dad was telling him what he was doing wrong from the get go, and this is the thing. His dad was telling him in the corner that okay, yeah, even though he lost a round, I think it was the 5th round or 6th round. He lost it, and his dad was like, yeah, like again another round you won. And every single round when he's thinking, yeah, I won that round. Yeah, I won that round. Yeah, this is all I got to do to win that round. And that just sort of played on his head. Okay, I just have to do this much. It's not, I'm not technically losing. I think I'm winning. My dad thinks I'm winning. We're doing great. Everything's going swimmingly stupendous. Okay. But should his dad, and I said this in the preview, should you have your father being in the corner team and you're a champion? Probably not, unless unless your father is like Emmanuel Stewart or something, or Castiamato, or an individual who can remove all kind of emotion from that arena and just focus on just the job. It's a bit like, can you work in the same office and your manager be your parent? You can get away with it, but like more often than not, it's gonna be a bit more problematic in most scenarios. So I don't. This is where we get into a bit more problems. Senior was telling Junior, "You're up on the scorecard." Junior was taking it. Junior was doing everything that he was doing. You know what? Prior, he wasn't changing it up. Then round 10 comes along. Cool. Scores a knockdown. I had it round 10 with KO. I'm looking at my screen saying, wow, am I going to get the prediction right on the dot? Jump at him, swing until the referee goes, yeah. And people may argue afterwards it was a premature stoppage, but he still got to go for it. He never did that. He curled up back in his box. He just, sailing away. I scored the knockdown, so I'm winning the fight. I scored a knockdown. If I see it over in the next couple of rounds, I'm going to take it. But, no urgency here, no problem. If he had known that he was losing that fight, I think he would have jumped on him. And this what leads me back onto the senior part. Had he known that he was down on the scorecard, he would have jumped him. I'm convinced of that. I'm really, really convinced of that. So this is why I have to think about those two. I don't think they should be training together anymore. Personally, and that's from my standpoint. 10, look, around 11, he basically let George Kambosos get back into the fight. When George Kambosos got back into the fight, he won the next couple of rounds convincingly. So, and Lopez just looked drained. Lopez looked just out of it. He looked lethargic. His timing was off. He was getting counter punched. Very bad day at the office. Is it because of it's because of a probably combination of things: weight drain, inactivity, lack, and his corner team not being transparent with him. Not being transparent with him. Because I understand he was going a little bit gun ho, and I understand they should have probably advised him, look, relax yourself. And if you tell a person like that, oh, by the way, you're down on the scorecards, yeah, they're just reckless. They're just going to carry on being more reckless, yeah, and they're going to up the notch. So, was it wrong? Look, 1 or 2 rounds you get away with it, but when you're losing rounds, you can't turn around and say, look, you've got to step it up. You got to step it up, man. I don't understand. And if Teofimo Lopez can't retrieve that information and apply it during the fight, then why are you both trading together? What is the point? They should untraceable done. Big up untraceable done. They should have robbed Kambosos. Why? He was telling me that, and I think Anya said it. He thought they would rob Kambosos. Why? Well, I do know why. Why they would try to rob him, but I think you said they would have robbed Kambosos. I think that's what you meant, which is okay. That makes sense now. But like, it was in his hands, you know. Had you jumped him in that in that 10th round, could have got him the hell out of here. He really could have got him the hell out of here. But again, Australia, stand up. I'll do black now. I'll do black now with the Australian Dons. Big up the Australian Dons, yeah. I don't have a huge Australian fan base. I just check when I check my analytics. I don't think I've even got a single Australian. UK, US, and just the traditional boxing places like a couple of here, like Ukraine and places. You know the way there, but Australia, stand up. Australia stand up. Uh, and I need to look into the Australian history of champions. But Matchroom are losing a lot of champions. Not necessarily because Teofimo Lopez, even though it was a Matchroom event, it wasn't a Matchroom fighter, if that makes sense. It's actually a top rank fighter. It was actually a top rank fighter. Lopez is top rank, not with Matchroom. It was on a Matchroom card though. And I think Kambosos could be. I think Kambosos is a free agent. I don't think Kambosos is any promoter or anything like that. But and to be fair, he should stay that. He should stay the same. Like he could just fight David Haye. And you know what? This probably worked out for the best. Because I wanted Teofimo Lopez to fight David Haye. I wanted him to win so he could fight David Haye. But you know what? You've been avoiding him for almost a year, big man. Like, what have you been? Your last fight, and I know this because his last fight was on my birthday last year. His last fight was October 17th. You can't be out for almost a year and a month or something. You can't do that and expect to just fly through like nothing happened at a weight class that you're often trained with. No, man. Trained by your father as well. That personally, I don't think is the right person to train you, who can give you the right advice. And also, I don't think Teofimo Lopez was receiving advice, to be fair, perfectly as well, because his dad told him to jab, and he did it at jab. So if his dad told him that he was down on the scorecard, you could have misinterpreted that a completely different way. But Teofimo Lopez has to improve from that as well on his listening skills. But it is what it is. But and Tank got told that they were down and pulled out knockouts that round. That is what I'm saying. But Bud and Tank were recipient of that information because when they were told prior to this, and that, they actually actioned it. When Kambosos was told to jab, yeah, and don't let him go too far away because it's not going to it's going to mess up your it's not going to be beneficial for you. You've got to be inside inside the pocket, and you've got to use your jab a lot more. He went out, didn't really do it, to be fair, until maybe a couple of rounds later. Like, you can't do that at this level. You have to be, if your corner team says, look, mate, you've got a jab to the body more often, you get out, you go back out, yeah, jab to the body. That's all you got to have in your head. Jab to the body, jab to the body, jab to the body. When it comes to you and your corner team, it's like doctor and patient. The doctor is the teacher. The doctor has to tell the patient, take this medication, take it 1, 2, 3 times a day with your food, whatever it is. Yeah. If you don't do that, you're not gonna feel well, and you're gonna feel worse. Then you're going to come back to me, and we're gonna have to you're gonna have to basically come into emergency services. Yeah. If you, as the patient, then go out and don't listen, like, it's on you, bro. It's on you. But if you're the doctor giving the wrong advice, that's also on you as well. Was Celia putting on the wrong advice? Not really, but the urgency weren't there. Just like, he could tell him the same thing, but at the end tell him, by the way, you're losing that round, so you need to keep jabbing, otherwise you're just going to carry on losing that round, and your head's going to be gone. Exactly. But you've got to be a recipient of information, and Lopez wasn't. Is it Loma mandatory if he beats? I think you mean Richard Comey. Comedy. I think it's Richard Comey. Hold on. I think you mean Richard Comey, and he just auto-corrected to comedy. Is he mandatory? No, because no. Simply, yeah, Richard Comey. Is he mandatory? No, because the reason why is I think they're gonna try to make the Devin Haney mandatory. Devin Haney should be mandatory, and if Devin Haney's not mandatory, then Ryan Garcia is mandatory. If that makes sense, Ryan Garcia is actually mandatory. Oh no, I think Ryan Garcia pulled out. Lomachenko can't be mandatory. I don't think he. There's no way he can. Hold on. You can't lose a fight last year, jump back in the next year, and all of a sudden you're back at mandatory. Sorry, mate, ain't gonna happen. You're not mandatory, mate. It's for me. I want to see Devin Haney versus George Kambosos next for the undisputed. Yeah. Why does? Do you know what? Once Devin Haney's undisputed, Ryan Garcia, all of these man. For me, I would have to take pay cuts. If you want to fight me, either get in my mandatory slot or you're taking pay cuts. And if you're in the mandatory spot, you got to take pay cut anyway. I would freeze them out. But then again, you're going to mess up business. So is that the best thing to do? But they really froze them out anyway. What's the point? Kambosos said he wants to fight Haney. Good, man. Good, man. We want you to fight Devin Haney, man. We want you to fight Devin Haney. But at the same time, I don't know what we're gonna do with Teofimo Lopez or like a rematch in Australia. He's down under Kakadu. I don't think Kakadu do that. Well, not, he's not from South Africa, but you know, kangaroos and them man there. Do you know what's crazy, guys? Yeah, speaking about kangaroos, I actually did a reaction on my channel one time to kangaroo boxing. Crazy, yeah. There was on the BBC. Kangaroos punching each other up like they had a good right hand, you know, backhands as well. They had no jabs on them. Anyway, yeah, I didn't even put it up. I put it as a private BBC, which is, you know, the main big channel in the UK, locked it off. I had to clarify that because when I said the BBC, I think you guys probably had other ideas, but they locked it off. They locked it off. That was a good one, man. I actually enjoyed that, man. Kangaroos getting punched up. It was mad, yeah. And if there's, do you know what, guys? If you guys can find me something like that, yeah, send it my way. Send it to my Instagram, you know, off the canvas boxing on Instagram. Let me know. Anyway, yeah, Richard Kobe Sport Track. I think you read that, yeah. Sport Track is a mad thing anyway. Don't worry, bro. The Zone says the winner of Lobo versus Kobe is the mandatory for the belts that Kambosos had. What belts? Oh, okay. I think I might know. Hold on. It's not for the WBC, which means it's for another belt. But what belt are they talking about? It's got to be for another belt. Let me just check the rankings. Lightweight. Hold on. It's got to be for another belt. I don't know which one they're talking about. Let me just figure it out. We're gonna work this one out, guys. Hold on. Who is mandatory and where are they sitting? Okay. Got it here. So for the WBC, Devin Haney is technically mandatory. Lomachenko is number one. I don't know how he was number one. And I thought Ryan Garcia was mandatory. Interim champion is Jojo Diaz. I don't know how they worked that one out. Jojo Diaz was supposed to fight Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia pulled out. So why Jojo Diaz now the interim? Okay. All right, cool. That makes sense. What is the belt? It's not IBF. I don't, even though Lobo is WBC number one, I don't think it's for the WBC. They're not that dumb. I think it might be for the WBO. I think it's a WBO belt. No, Rolly is man. No. Yo, it says here Rolly is number one with the WBA. Rolly's got other problems to face. Yeah, I don't know what he's on, but yeah, I think it's for the WBA. That's what I think it is. Anyway, I don't think it should be. Or at least front of the line, as they say. Why is he front of? He's the best fighter. Well, no, I don't see. I don't understand why he's front of the line. What has he done? What exactly has he done since the loss? Okay, it's been over a year. So has he fought? Why is the lightweights not fighting? No, he did fight. He fought this year. Nakatini Nakatani this year. That's it. See, he fought Nakatani. He's 15-2. At that time, 15-1. And all of a sudden he's back at mandatory position. I don't know how they work that one out. Sometimes the maths ain't mathing with these lot, but it is what it is. They write really vague and never specify, so I have to look as well. Yeah, I think it might be for the WBO. I don't see why it's a WBC. The WBC is a bit all over the place, so they're not going to do a ruling on the WBC. They're not going to. WBC are not going to rule a Lomachenko fight, or are they? I think they might do. To be fair, actually, could be. Could be. Could be the WBC because they're the ones who put Loma as franchise champion. So they probably, if he loses, he's got preferential treatment. They're going to bump him up to number one. A bit like Deontay Wilder. You know, when Deontay Wilder loses, they just bump him up to number one still. Like, he can't actually leave number one position. I think he's still number one. Or is it Dillian? Regardless, he's going to be in and around that number one position because he's pally with them. It is what it is. But overall, what a night for George Kambosos. George Kambosos fought extremely well. He beat the guy who gave Lopez the most trouble before. Who's that? Yeah, George Kambosos or Loma. Let me know. Either WBC or WBO. I think WBO, honestly. That's what I think. So yeah, WBA. Unless the WBC are doing some next trickery behind the scenes, is with regards to they want to have Lomachenko back at fighting the champion. They put Lomachenko as franchise champion, so they've obviously got some sort of a close affinity with that guy. They put him up to that status. That's why we're in this mess. To be fair, it could be them for that reason, but I don't think it's them because at the WBC convention, which happened like last week, I think there was no real mention of a mandatory position. They would have ordered it then. If there was going to be a time, they would have ordered it then. So it's the WBO. It leads me to believe it's the WBO. Nakatina. Okay, yeah, you are right. I just can't pronounce his name right. I can't pronounce the name correctly for the life of me. But everyone here, please click the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. And like the video as well. In general, just let me know what you guys think as well. But definitely drop the subscribe button. I need to say more often. I think like 90% of you guys are just were not subscribed, which is crazy because it's the same people, but they're not subscribed yet. But click the subscribe button. That will be amazing. Anyway, what does that mean for the lightweight division? Where do we go from here? Haiti versus George Kambosos next. After that, in the meantime, I want to see what's his name again? Tank. Bro, what's going on with this brother? Tank. Hold on a minute. We'll talk about that another time. Let me know. We'll talk about that another time. Today is George Kambosos' day. Big up Australia. Australian boxing is now in full effect. I said this the other day. I said the Australian dolls are coming into full effect. Yeah. Australians might be the new Ukraine. They might actually do it. You know, they're there, but they're not really respected in the boxing scene. But now they are respected because we've got a pretty much an undisputed champion in George Kambosos. Do I think he'll beat Devin Haney? No. We'll cross that bridge. We'll cross that bridge. Okay. Like the video, guys. Subscribe. I'm gonna be out of here in the next couple of more minutes. I would love to see George Kambosos versus Berichick. I need to look into Berichick a lot more. That's a fight I definitely need to look into a lot more. But I think George Kambosos' number one aim is to become undisputed fully on paper. Once it's become undisputed, the world's your oyster card. But do I think he's going to beat Devin Haney? Devin Haney's got a fight against Jojo Diaz. Is that still on? Devin, where you at, bro? Please tell me that's still on. Please tell me that's still on. Or is he fighting some next stud? It's on for next Saturday. That fight is still on yet. On the 4th for Jojo Diaz. So I expect Devin Haney to perform well that night. He needs to win. He needs to win. Otherwise, we're gonna have the unlikely event of Jojo Diaz versus George Kambosos for the undisputed lightweight world champion. And all these so-called four kings, these so-called guys who don't want to fight each other, this is what happens. You know what? I personally, I even though I like Lopez, you didn't fight in a year. You didn't want to fight David Haney straight after you fought Lomachenko, which you could have done. More than able you could have done. You opted out not to. You come back after a year, talking about undisputed with other people, etc. And you weren't focused solely on George Kambosos. You were overweight and you had to cut so thin to an extent where you were completely drained. Coming into round one, you went gung ho. You didn't actually come in with any level of composure, any level of like relaxation or patience within the first round. You just went gung ho. Got caught and got knocked down. You didn't listen to the corner team when they told you to stay on the jab. And your corner team, which you decided to roll with, told you every round that they lost. And then in the end, you come away saying, I think I won, which is a little bit more distasteful. I didn't speak of that. I'm just speak about it for a minute. I don't enjoy people coming in when they lose straight afterwards and say, oh, by the way, oh, I thought I won, man. They done me dirty, man. Yeah. Bruv, take your loss like a champ. Look at the fight, watch the fight back again. Because do you know what I noticed? I'm all well and good brainwashing yourself to have levels of self-confidence to believe that you can achieve anything that you want to, but it gets to a point where you have to learn, you have to understand loss management. Yeah. If you lose, you have to be focused and you've got to have a protocol when you lose. Yeah. Crisis management. That's what it's called. Crisis management. If you end up losing, which you can have that possibility in your head, which you can say, yeah, I'm not losing. But in the event, if you end up losing, the first thing you got to say is congratulations, champ. And This guy's a wonderful champ. No excuses. He won fair and square, and keep it moving. Even if you think you got robbed, you go back, you watch the fight, and you assess it yourself. Yeah, because we've seen it, man, all the time. I don't understand why fighters turn around and say, "Oh yeah, boy, I won, I fought." Bruv, yeah, you didn't watch the fight back again, so how the hell do you know? You wouldn't know when you're in that ring. You don't really know. When you're hitting that person, you can maybe hit them a couple of times. You may feel their face in your knuckles. You may feel, all right, cool. You may see them like shift their self a little bit, like a little bit hurt. You don't really know. Berichick has a stand your ground quick style, similar to Kambosos, so it'll be a good, interesting fight. Okay, I'll look out for him. Thank you very much for that, Petrol, man. I'll look out for him. Berichick. I'll definitely look out for him. Hopefully, he's a good fighter as well. But do you know what? It's probably worked out for the best. Yeah. Lopez wasn't chasing the Devin fight. You weren't chasing the Tank fight. You weren't chasing the Ryan Garcia fight. What the hell was he chasing? He was chasing the Josh Taylor fight. And he didn't even offer Josh Taylor or anything. That's the fight that he was talking about. So why don't he just vacate and move up to a fight? Josh Taylor. But again, you can't overlook your opponent. It is what it is. Well, tonight, George Kambosos night. He fought well, jabbed well, made him miss, kept his distance, really done what he had to do. Really done what he had to do. Yeah, he got knocked down, but he came back up. He took a win as a champion. Okay, it's all well and good taking the loss as the champion, but can you take your win as a champion? He took his win as a champion. Even though I'm not a fan of fathers being in the corner team because it clouds the judgment between them and their son and their fighters or daughters. I don't. He done well. He actually done well. So I'm proud of George Kambosos. Big up Australia. They got a new world champion, and not even a new world. Hold up, not even a new world champion. They've got a unified world championship. Hats off, man. This is what boxing. This is the whole point of boxing. The best base is the best, and whoever comes out top, the cream boys rises to the top. That's what I got to say with regards to George Kambosos, man. Much respects to him. When Tio was complaining, he turned around and he was like, "Oh, like, I think you might be a little bit more deluded, but it was a good fight, and hopefully we can maybe run it back." It was a bit more respectful, Oh, you should react to the Berichick versus Lobo bare knuckle fight. It was nice. Okay, I'll look into that. Kambosos adjusted well. That's the thing. He adjusted well and took advantage of his strengths. That is true. That is very true. Amen. Congratulations to George Kambosos. I don't know why I think he's very good, but big up Eleazar. Let me know how you pronounce it. But Kambosos, I'm just in shock. You know what? I expected George Kambosos to fight really well. I didn't think it was going to be a walkover, and I thought it was going to be a 10th round KO. I thought it was going to be competitive throughout. It could have been that. Really, could have really been that. But in life, you've got to take your chances. You've got to take your chances. And if you don't take your chances, when you present itself, then you are at loss. Yeah, the opportunity presented itself on a platter, 10th round. The KO was ready to go. He did choose the opportunity. It is what it is. It's now 5 a.m. here in the UK. Eliazar. Lovely to meet you, man. Hopefully you can subscribe to the channel. Well, no, we're just about to wrap up here, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done it already. Eliezer. Ah, okay. Eliezer. Lovely to meet you, man. Thank you very much for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. And peace, love, prosperity, guys. And I will catch you guys in a bit. Peace.